Angry, moody, bossy.
Sometimes we're perceived as being like poor and we don't have a lot of money.
Probably ghetto. That's what they really think of us as. Loud, obnoxious.
Black women and girls sit at the intersecting identities of being both black and women in a patriarchal, anti-black, misogynistic society. There are certain experiences that black women in the United States specifically endure due to our historical negative perceptions of the black woman. As a black woman myself, growing up in Schenectady, New York, many of the negative experiences I had were rooted in misogynoir, which is the dislike and contempt or ingrained prejudice against black women. I didn't have the language to explain what I was experiencing, nor did I have anyone to help me not internalize these experiences or even help put these experiences into historical context. This is Distorted Black Beauty, a 3-part video series where I unpack and analyze the experiences of black girls and women in the 518. In this episode, we'll be breaking down Blackgirlhood. You'll be hearing from these 3 teenage girls who are currently living in the 518.
Okay, so my name is Najira, but I go by Naj. And I'm a high school senior right now, but I'm going to college for education and English. I was adopted by white people. We went to like an all-white school. There's a few other black people, but as I would grow up, they would call me like Kunta Kinte, Harriet Tubman, just anything to try and offend me just because I was darker than them. And it wasn't like I could really go back to my family and tell them about it because they wouldn't understand what I was going through at the school. Like my cousin, she was lighter than me. So they wouldn't call her those names, but I would get called those names. And it really affected me, honestly. Like my view on myself. Honestly, I just felt like everyone else was better than me because that's what they perceived themselves as. Since I was darker, they believed they were better than who I was. And it was all just bullying, basically, like throughout elementary school up until middle school. It was just bullying.
My name is Tanzil Ali. I am 14 years old and I'm a freshman. Like, to be cared for, we're not even cared for. This one time I was for real crying in class because I did not understand that shit. I had a whole breakdown. And she comes up to me. She goes, "Are you okay?" I was halfway through my response. She goes, "Okay," and goes back up to the board and starts teaching. Now, what was the point of even asking me if I was okay if you weren't going to help me? Because
So I'm 16 years old. I go to Niskayuna High School. I'm in my junior year. In Niskayuna, I've lived there my whole entire life, grown up with a lot of racism in the school. I've always had my mom have to go to the board and talk about what's been going on and how it's like affecting me and other students of color. When people, like my friends would be like, "Oh, where do you go?" And I'll be like, "Oh, Niskayuna." I'll be like, "Oh, Niskayuna," because people know it's like racist. So it's like, but they have a good education, so it kind of like they want to like make up for it, but it doesn't.
Did you ever feel like you were understood amongst like your community in Niskayuna as a black girl?
Not really. I never really grew up with like somebody that I could kind of like trust and like like talk to about it because everybody was white, so it was like hard to have somebody relate to me.
Black girls across the nation have their own experiences similar to what you just heard from these 3 teens. The reason behind that is because of anti-blackness and patriarchy. The patriarchy as we know it was specifically geared to benefit cisgendered, straight, white men. Due to the historical dehumanization of black women under slavery, femininity was never made for us. And as young black girls under slavery, we were cattle. So we never had the luxuries of a presumed innocence like our white counterparts.
Sometimes we're perceived as being like poor and we don't have a lot of money.
probably ghetto. That's what they really think of us as. Loud, obnoxious.
Angry, moody, bossy. Once you attack someone for so long, they're going to feel upset or disrespected due to what you've been doing to them. So once they finally tell you or let you know how they feel, all of a sudden, oh, you're angry, oh, you're moody, oh, you're this. It's always, oh, you're the one being disrespectful. We didn't start this. You started it.
According to a study done by Georgetown Law called Girlhood Interrupted, it states that adults view black girls as less innocent and more adult-like than white girls of the same age, especially between the ages of 5 to 14. Through the process of adultification, black girls are not seen and treated as the kids they are. This also leads to an increased policing and punishment of black girls, and this manifests in the ways teachers look and treat black girls in the classroom.
I'll tell you how I got dress coded. I got dress coded for wearing ripped jeans and a crop top that was not even showing. Like, it was like I had high-waisted jeans on. It was a crop top, so you could barely even see anything. And I got dress coded and I got sent home. But there was white girls wearing more revealing clothes than me, and they got to roam around the school free. Most people who got dress coded and sent home were black girls.
When there is an issue like drama between maybe a white student and a black student, we're usually the ones who get the harder punishment or get immediately just like detention or ISS, you know? We're like, let's not do this because we know we're gonna get in trouble more than the white person.
It's the small microaggressions that teenage black girls have to endure at the hands of adults. This is happening because, of course, all of us have our internal biases, but when it comes specifically to black girls, due to the way that they're adultified by our society, we rarely ever take a moment of caution when speaking towards them.
Some of the teachers can make us uncomfortable because we're the only black students, saying like, usually in English class they'll bring up books with like the N-word and stuff, and it'll be this whole thing, and you'll get like eyes on you and stares. Back in middle school, this one time my teacher was talking to another student, and she had to give she wanted the student to hand the paper to me while I was in another class. So she was like, oh, this is for Olivia, and then they're like, oh, which one? And the teacher goes, the black one. And so it was kind of, and then the girl who's handing the paper to me was also black, and she was my best friend. So it also made her uncomfortable. And
teachers have honestly had a fight with her because she has shown up into school, like into a class, and she changed her hairstyle, and they had an argument with her saying that that's not her because of her different hairstyle. And that's really ridiculous because the teacher's trying to be funny with it, and it's not even funny. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even recognize you, because she changed her hairstyle from poofs to braids. Does that make even sense? It doesn't.
Black girls endure this kind of treatment from adults. Then add the layer that is the way that their peers treat them. Dark-skinned black girls endure colorism, which is the systematic discrimination and prejudice towards those of darker skin. They face this between the people in their communities, the people in their schools, and even sometimes the people in their family. The thing about colorism is that it's rooted in desirability politics and anti-blackness. And honestly, it has a traumatic impact on the lives of dark-skinned girls and women.
It's been rough. It's been rough. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. There hasn't been times where I wish I wish I was lighter, or I wished I had easier hair to deal with. With my dreads and my sides, I was always bullied because of that. They would always call me like a dyke or just a girl lover for having a simple haircut, which I never really understood. It's just a haircut. It was weird. Like, they would try to pick me apart, but in tiny ways, so that I wouldn't really tell that they were being negative towards me. That really negatively impacted myself. I don't think I started liking myself up until 10th grade, up until after I met Miss Miles. She helped me kind of realize like who I was in a better manner than just like, oh, well, like I'm darker than everyone else. I shouldn't really like myself. Shouldn't put myself out there. Like, she's helped me out a lot. Skin tone isn't all that there is, even though that's kind of what is shown like anywhere else. Like, I've started to obviously love who I am and love my skin. It just takes a while, especially if you've been bullied before. It takes a while because they're like your insecurities. It's usually everything that a bully has said about you, that'll stick for a while. But it's good being able to grow out of it.
Deshaun Harrison is a trans black organizer and the author of the book Belly of the Beast. In their book, they mention how pretty, with the capital P, is more about understanding what it means to experience the structural advantages over someone who is ugly, with a capital U. Black women specifically are deemed less desirable in our current society. And add colorism and white standards of beauty, young black girls, especially those of darker skin, understand quickly that they are not valued, loved, or wanted.
That's really all what it falls down to. Anything is what, like, anything you're asking, it all falls down to, do you fit the beauty standard or not, is what it is.
Black girls understand how looking a certain way can help them endure this world a little better. But what happens when you can't afford to keep up? The socioeconomic positioning of black girls and women is highly important in order for us to perform femininity and keep up with beauty standards. But young black girls end up not having access, which makes their experience that much harder.
If you're a black girl and you don't have that much money, you're just looked at as like dirty, poor, etc. And people won't really talk to you or hang out with you. And I know that's hard for them themselves, because like if you don't have any friends in high school, like that's gonna be a rough patch. It's gonna be really hard. If you wear nice clothes and you talk to a lot of people, boom, you're popular. And if you don't have much clothes, you're perceived as like what? Like no one wants to be your friend or anything. And that's really like, that can affect somebody. The school just like, they don't really care is what it is. Like you could really, how would I put it? I wouldn't put it as bullying, because like people really won't like should have bully you for it, but it's just like you'll get looked at and you know what they're looking at you for. Some people really don't have that money and people can't really just like wear cute clothes, and people really would just like won't talk to them or like won't hang out with them and make them feel less of themselves just because they don't have that money.
I mean, I have a lot of friends who aren't really as, I don't want to say privileged, but like have what I have. It's like an awkward and uncomfortable situation for them because they want to fit in. They don't want to be seen as like the poor black girl. Like that's like a title people usually use. I feel like we just have to like pretend that we like have money, but like I feel like it's just not something I don't think we should do, and it's just like uncomfortable for us.
So being that black women are considered the lower tier when it comes to desirability, and that alone varies depending on your area, your skin tone, and your socioeconomic status, black girls do not get to experience the typical journey through dating. Being a young black girl in a majority white school like Olivia makes it hard to find love interests.
Especially in our school, the black boys usually tend to like the white girls, so we always are just like, and the white guys usually like the white girls. So it's kind of like, it's hard for us like with like dating life and liking people because they tend to not like us for who we are. I think because we're black.
For dark-skinned girls, whether in an all-white school or a diverse school, dating can still be traumatic.
There's a beauty standard for like the boys in our grade, right? You have to, what is it? You gotta have a nice ass. You gotta have, what is it? You gotta be light skin. Light skin is where it really just comes through, because everybody's like, oh, you have to be a light-skinned girl with this and that to be my girlfriend, this and that. And like darker people don't really get like noticed. There was this guy and he was dating my best friend, and my best friend at the time was a little bit darker than me. And he cheated on her for a lighter girl and literally said, sorry, lighter girls just come more up. He said appealing to me. Like, what is that even supposed to mean? Like, so I was like, what does she have that she doesn't? And then he was like, she's lighter. Said just like that. This guy is like dark. Like darker than me, darker than her. So I'm sitting here like, how could you actually like be like this towards like your own people? And he was just like, he all he said was that she's lighter and she seems cleaner because she's lighter skinned. All I said was okay, and I walked away. Because at that point, don't even talk to me anymore.
Usually, like the ideal body type for girlfriend right now is the light skinned girl who does her makeup every day, which I don't put down. I'm trying to learn how to do my makeup, but when it's the light skinned girl who knows how to do her makeup, or the lighter skinned girl who dresses better or something like that. One time I had this crush on a boy. I mean, he's annoying now, but I had a crush on him, and my friend was like, oh, like he would never date you. Like you're too dark for him. We're no longer friends. But like that really hurt my feelings. Or it's just, oh, no one's really gonna want to go out with you. Like, do you see the way like your hair is or stuff like that? because I was just now learning how to do my own hair on my own. I was just like, okay, cool. It would always be like negative, like put downs that I never really noticed were negative, I think I could say, because I never really had friends that were positive or uplifted me up until now.
Through all the stories you heard today from these smart young teen Black girls, I implore you to look within your own community and think of the ways that the young Black teenage girls in your community are experiencing these tough and harsh realities. In the next episode, we'll be exploring and unpacking the experiences of young adult Black women in the 518. I'm Mia Mercool Bali, reporting from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.